Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In this video, what we're going to be doing is, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about is Josh Allen the next Philip Rivers, or basically Philip Rivers 2.0. As we saw here a couple weeks ago, we saw Josh Allen lose in the divisional round to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoff game, and people have started to kind of wonder, is Josh Allen going to win the Super Bowl this year? Clearly, we saw it's not going to happen now, and people started to wonder, is Josh Allen just going to be one of these quarterbacks like Philip Rivers was, where he pads the stats, he wins games, he does great things, he's a good man, he's wins some playoff games, but never can get to that final stage of the chapter in a football career, which is winning the Super Bowl. Or in Philip Rivers' cases, and now as it's kind of gone, Josh Allen's case, even getting to the Super Bowl. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into this. I'm going to talk about some of the stats that we saw out of Philip Rivers in his career and kind of how it equates to what Josh Allen has done here over the first 6 or 7 years of his career. We're going to talk about Philip Rivers' career and what he kind of went through to try and even win playoff games and what kind of stopped him from getting to the Super Bowl. And then we're going to talk about Josh Allen and what is kind of now stopping him from getting the Super Bowl, as we've seen with Patrick Mahomes. So without further ado, if you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first up, let's go over Philip Rivers' career stats and kind of what he did in his NFL career. As you can see all up there, his career stats of what he did: 63,000 yards, 421 touchdowns, 209 interceptions. Basically like a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio if you do the math. Looking at his career stats, he's always been once the pass game kind of evolved within the NFL there around 2008, 2009, we saw he basically took off and he was like constantly 4,000 plus yards every single season. Even as he got into his later part of the career, even that stint that he had with the Indianapolis Colts where he went there for a year, he still went out there and put up 4,100 yards, had 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The man was just a juggernaut playing out there. Now, I will agree, kind of toward the later part of his career, he did kind of dwindle off, as you can see from his passer rating. But when you look at the way he played throughout his entire career, like we see with Josh Allen, he had the stats, he had the numbers, he's got quarterback rating, touchdowns, yards, completion percentage was always up around 60+%. He was healthy 16 games almost every single year of his career, besides the two seasons he kind of was still rookie developing before he finally got to become the starter. And now if we look at Josh Allen's stats so far throughout his career of playing in the NFL, right here you can see 2018 when he started out, he did pretty good. I mean, he only had 12 games, but he still put up about the 2,000 yards. Once he kind of got his bearings under him and he started playing, he's been pretty much the best player on the field for every game he plays, besides when he plays the Chiefs probably. By the time we got to 2020, where he really became a elite player, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That was like the moment where we were like, okay, Josh Allen is here and he ain't fucking around. 2021, he went out there and put up 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. By this point of 2022, we were kind of starting to realize he is a little bit of what Philip Rivers was. Philip Rivers, by the time he got towards the later part of his career, and especially whenever he was like there in that main prime. I mean, you can see right here in his like kind of his prime days of 2010 to 2013, he was a little bit turnover happy. I mean, you can see it. 20 picks, 15 picks, 11 picks, 18 picks, 21 picks. God damn. And then you compare it to what Josh Allen has been doing. 15 picks, 14 picks, 18 picks. Holy shit. Like, they're almost identical if you ask me. The only thing that kind of separates the two is Josh Allen knows how to use his legs and he's willing to run down the track and go get extra yards. Philip Rivers was a little bit of a slower player, so he wasn't running that much. As you can see right here, this is Philip Rivers' career in the playoffs. He's a 5-7 record in the playoffs. You can see all his stats right here, kind of how he did. If we look at his career numbers of kind of what he did, relatively kind of revolves around like a 260 yards a game that he kind of went and did. You can see some of the numbers he did. The games where he was losing, picks were kind of the main thing to talk about. And when you look at kind of how far he went as well, you look right here in 2008, that was the furthest he ever went. He went to the AFC title game. Obviously, he lost to New England that year. That was the year I think New England went on to the Super Bowl as an undefeated team. I think that was also the year they lost to the New York Giants. Correct me in the comments. When you look at his other stints in the NFL playoffs and see kind of how he did, like you look at some of his records here: AFC wildcard, AFC wildcard, like a lot of wildcard appearances. Sometimes he was there as the divisional player or divisional team, but I think a lot of those was him getting like the 2 or 1 seed, and they just kind of got there and they didn't really do much after that. And the other thing that's going to kind of now lead into what Josh Allen is going through, look at the team that Philip Rivers had to play a lot in the playoffs. Let's look here. 0-1. Who's that to? Tom Brady and the Patriots. Let's look again. Oh, another 0-1. Who did he have to play? Tom Brady and the Patriots. Let's see. Another 0-1 down here. Tom Brady and the Patriots. Now, he had a couple other losses in here, like Pittsburgh, he had the Jets, but if you look at kind of the theme, you have a lot of New England and Tom Brady in there as kind of defeating him in the playoffs. And now when we look at Josh Allen, what is he currently in the playoffs? He's 5-5 in this playoffs, and you look at some of his stats that he's done, basically about the same things what Phillip Rivers done. When he's throwing picks, not good things happen. When he's keeping the picks under control, I think that's usually where he's winning. I mean, you look up here, you look at the games that he was able to win here in the wildcard round against Indy, kept the picks under control. Over here, when he played New England, that game was just a crazy game in that wildcard round. He kept the picks under control, and he just went bonkers with the touchdowns. But like I said a minute ago, let's look at the theme of what has been kind of keeping Josh Allen out of the playoffs or away from going further into the playoffs. Let's take a look here. AFC title game, he lost to Mahomes. The next year, the divisional round, he lost to Mahomes. This year in 2023 was a little bit of a different one. He lost to Joe Burrow. And now there's also a lot of people talking about, is Joe Burrow like the next Peyton Manning, whereas if Mahomes is the next Brady, is Burrow the next Manning, and then Josh Allen is the next Phillip Rivers. And then getting back on track, you can see right there, once again, a loss to Mahomes in the game we just saw a few weeks ago. So with that all being said, here's kind of my final, I guess you could say, input. Josh Allen, the way he plays, he's an electrifying player. He does amazing things on the field, kind of the same way how Phillip Rivers was. Josh Allen's going to get you to the playoffs, and he's going to take you in there, and he's going to make you think you have a shot to win, kind of like what Phillip Rivers did. Ultimately, here's kind of what I'm going to say. I don't want to say it. It looks like it could be true that he could be a Phillip Rivers 2.0, but I'm not going to say it. I don't think he is. I see kind of why the stats kind of back it up, and I realized I just went through all that and kind of laid it out why he could be a Phillip Rivers 2.0, but I refuse to believe it. I'm not a Bills fan, but I'm the biggest Josh Allen fan at this point. I want him to win a Super Bowl. I want to see him win a ring. I love the way he plays. I think he's an amazing talent. I really want to see the Bills win. That's just plain and simple. I was the same way with Phillip Rivers when he was playing, and especially whenever he got kind of towards the last years with him in the Chargers. I was hoping they could go far, hoping that they could do something with the Chargers. Eventually he got traded, and I kind of thought whenever they went to the Colts, it was going to be for nothing. But then they got to the playoffs, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I'll root for them. But then the Bills kind of steamwalked them, and there was nothing else to see for Phillip Rivers' career. I think long story short is, if Josh Allen goes throughout his entire career and he never wins a ring, you all that are going to be saying that he's a Phillip Rivers 2.0, you might have won the debate. But if he goes out there next season or whenever it may be, and he can win a ring, the debate is over. And I realize I'm trying to make it sound like it's so easy, like, come on Josh Allen, just go win a ring. It's pretty much that. If you win a ring, the debate is over. But if he doesn't win a ring by the end of his career, he goes throughout his entire career with Buffalo or whoever, if he gets traded somewhere or wherever he finishes his career, and he never wins a ring, you're going to have that label over your head of you are essentially this is generation's Phillip Rivers 2.0. But other than that, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go to enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you stayed to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much, and you have a different opinion. Do you think he is or is not Phillip Rivers 2.0? What do you think about Josh Allen and the way his career's gone? Do you think he will end up getting a ring in the future? If you don't think he's going to get a ring, like I said, leave your complete opinion down in the comment section down below as to what you think is going to happen with Josh Allen, and if you think he will turn into Phillip Rivers 2.0. If you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.